Thank you. At 6:49 in Commitment 2022 this morning, people head back to the polls today in South Carolina for primary runoffs.
Yeah, those polls open in just about 15 minutes from now, about 10 minutes from now. And voting today runs from 7 o'clock this morning until 7 tonight. And sample ballots can be found at scvotes.gov. And always be sure to bring that photo ID.
But remember this morning, if you did not vote on the June 14th primary, you can vote either in the Republican or Democratic runoffs. But for those who did vote in the primary, you must vote in the same political party primary for today's runoff. We'll bring you all the results on WYFF News 4 on air and online. Happening today, a woman charged in connection with a deadly hit and run on Augusta Street is expected in court. A hearing is scheduled for Veronica Tharp later this morning. She's accused of driving a stolen SUV and hitting a woman and her dog. Brittany Lawson and her dog were walking along a sidewalk when they died in the crash last year. Tharp is facing multiple charges, including reckless homicide, hit and run, and driving under the suspension.
The impact of the Supreme Court's abortion ruling is still being felt, of course, and the emotions are stirred up that are stirred up by that decision are still raw.
Yeah, many people have taken to the streets to protest the decision giving states the right to ban abortion.
Now, a rally in Greenville yesterday celebrated the decision. The event was held by the Greenville, South Carolina campaign for abortion-free cities. While those who attended the rally say this is the first of many victories, counter-protesters said the event was upsetting. Several states have now banned the practice of abortion, while it remains legal in more than a dozen others, including North Carolina. At least 10 states have immediately restricted abortion access, including South Carolina. Both sides passionate about the issue.
It's a huge celebration. It's a fight that's been going on for a very long time, but we fully recognize that the battle's not over and the battle has just begun, and we will defend life at every stage.
Nobody out here is supporting the babies that are born. They're just creating an extremely dangerous situation for a lot of women.
Both sides agree that the issue of abortion is far from over.
Well, South Carolina's fetal heartbeat bill is now in effect.
Yesterday, the U.S. District Court of South Carolina lifted its prior hold on the enforcement of a state law.
The decision was part of a wave of court actions across the U.S. following Friday's ruling by the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. The law bans abortions after the point at which a fetal heartbeat is detected, usually around 6 weeks into a pregnancy, and only includes exceptions for rape, incest, or if the mother's life is in danger.
Governor Henry McMaster tweeted his reaction, saying in part, quote, as you see here, "This is why Friday's Supreme Court decision is so important. Countless unborn children will be saved because of this law," unquote. At 6:52, the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol is holding a surprise hearing today.
Lawmakers made the announcement with just 24 hours notice, with the promise to present recently obtained evidence and witness testimony. Amy Lou has more from our Washington newsroom.
Well, Patrick and Destiny, a spokesperson for the January 6th committee, declined to elaborate on what exact new evidence and testimony they'll present. That's unlike previous hearings. Multiple outlets are now reporting we could hear from Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to Trump's former chief of staff. We've already heard from her video testimony. The committee also recently obtained new footage of Trump and his inner circle, documented by a British filmmaker by the name of Alex Holder. Now, Holder said he complied with a congressional subpoena to turn over the video, and the video included exclusive interviews with Trump, his children, and then VP Mike Pence, as well as video of the attack on the Capitol and the aftermath. Now, it's unclear if Holder's footage will be shown later today. His lawyer declined to comment on that. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou, WYFF News 4.
At 6:53 in South Texas, a gruesome discovery after officials find nearly 50 people dead inside a tractor trailer in a presumed migrant smuggling attempt. Officials say 16 others in the truck were taken to the hospital. It may be the deadliest tragedy among thousands who have died attempting to cross the U.S. border from Mexico in recent decades. Heat poses a serious danger, especially when temperatures can rise severely inside vehicles. Weather in the San Antonio area was mostly cloudy yesterday, but temperatures approached 100 degrees. Authorities say the trailer where the people were found had no water or air conditioning. Now to Missouri. 3 people were killed and dozens were injured when an Amtrak passenger train derailed yesterday.
Yeah, that train was traveling from Los Angeles to Chicago when it hit a dump truck at a public crossing there, and troopers say 2 of the people who died were on the train and 1 was in the truck. At least 50 others were injured in the crash and the derailment.
Amtrak's officials say the train was carrying about 207 passengers and crew members when the collision happened.